Pretty sure
First
about
in football, we start with the NFL and Netflix have done a deal where Netflix will air 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. 2 huge games this year. We have Ravens at Texans and then Steelers at Chiefs. Craig, did the NFL just take over Christmas from the NBA?
You know, they did last year, right? We had the first ever, games, not on Christmas, but the first ever games. It was a Tuesday, whatever it was, last year. Now we're playing on Wednesday. They're not only taking Christmas back from the NBA, they're also stealing it from college football because there's a triple header that day for the new bowl playoff system in college football. So the NFL's like, we don't care, man. Like, we're the NFL. We're kings of everything. So the NBA, take a back seat to the NFL. College football playoff, take a back seat to the NFL. Look, I view it the way consumers view it because that's what I am. I'm a consumer of the NFL. Yes, I work at FS1, but we are all consumers, right? And I love it. More NFL football on more days of the week is good for me as a consumer of the NFL, as a fan of the NFL. And if you're the NBA, cry about it. If you're college football, cry about it. But now we have NFL football, and it makes Christmas Wednesday this year just that much more fun. I get a little college football. I get a little NFL football. I get a little NBA basketball. And I have no reason to leave my couch. And for a guy that doesn't sleep a lot and gets up early and needs a reason to stay on the couch when everyone else wants me to do stuff around the house, now I have to say it's my job. I can't leave. I got to watch 3 college football games, 2 NFL games, and whatever the NBA's selling me, I got to watch all of it. I do need a second job because these services are expensive.
They are.
I need Tubi. I need Fubo. I need Netflix. I need Hulu.
Peacock, Paramount.
I need pluses and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I cut the cord, and now I'm spending more money.
Yeah, it's Roger Goodell doing business, man. What, they sell the games for $150 million?
They were saying just under $150 million bucks per game. And that
Sold.
goes right in the owner's pockets, by the way. So figure $300 million bucks, 32 teams. Everybody gets $10 million.
Hey, if you're against
Life is good.
If you're against Netflix and you don't have it, based on these Christmas days, Kansas City, at Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, Houston, you're going to get Netflix.
And by the way, let me just add this little wrinkle to this, because you're talking about holiday football games. You know, Thanksgiving, of course, the triple header we get now. And this is just for job security, nothing else. But Fox has the Dallas Cowboy Thanksgiving Day this year. And guess who they're playing, Plaxico Burress?
Who are they playing?
The New York Giants. Yes. Yes. Giants, Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
That's
on
what I'm talking
Fox.
about.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Instead of week 1, which has been a lot over the last 10 years, opening the season.
I think they still play week 1.
They do not. Not this year, no. Because Dallas has the Cleveland Browns on Fox
it's always
for week 1. But now you get the very special
Christmas
divisional
Day.
rivalry, Cowboys and Giants. So when you think about the holidays in this country, right? After Labor Day, and they don't play on Labor Day. We play that first Thursday. That's the opening game of the season, obviously with the Chiefs trying to defend their title, right? We've got great games on Thanksgiving. We got great games on Christmas. We'll have great games on New Year's. We'll have a great game on my birthday. We may even have a game on Valentine's Day when it's all said and done. Not this year, but in the next couple of years. So I'm so pumped up for football.
Not only do they have NFL games on Christmas, it's Ravens, Texans, and Steelers, Chiefs. Like, those are premier matchups.
Yeah.
And that's my number 1 takeaway. My number 2 takeaway is the same as yours is, sorry, family. We'll do presents in the morning.
Yeah.
And then sports for the rest of the day. It's my job.
Well, even better, I'm Jewish. I ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. I just look, hey.
I might convert.
Presents, you ain't getting no presents.
Gifts.
Daddy being home is your present. But you're right. Like, when you look at the 6 teams that are playing on, I'm a heathen, I know, on Christmas Day, or on Thanksgiving, rather, pardon me, you're talking 4 guaranteed lock playoff teams and possibly a 5th. Not 6, because your Giants aren't making the playoffs. But good news, Plax, tomorrow on the show, I will surprise you with my New York Giants season prediction.
Oh, we might even get Plaxis later on the show.
You're going to surprise me with the New York Giants prediction?
I'm going to surprise you with my prediction.
You know what?
Your tease, we'll get Plaxis.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much,
later on today. Moving on to second and football.
Time out. I've just been told by my executive assistant upstairs that this year Hanukkah starts on Christmas night.
What?
It's a celebration! Woo!
You know what? That's great.
Yes.
All of us get to celebrate.
Christmas in 2024. Presents for everybody. Woohoo! Now I can celebrate
gifts.
like if I was Christian. This is fantastic.
College football.
I'm having the greatest year ever, Blacks. Hug it out.
NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas and Hanukkah all on the same day. What a day.
Yes.
Moving on to second and football, the Chiefs start their season against the Ravens, a tough matchup, and then the Bengals, another tough matchup. But Travis Kelce addressed the two-game start and the schedule on his New Heights podcast. So, Craig, are you buying that it's actually a good thing for the Chiefs to start off with those two tough games?
Look, you want to be healthy when you play the best teams in the league, so I think that's what he's getting at.
Right, yep.
And he's talked in the past about the season being a grind, and it's hard to get up for games. In November and December, when you know in your mind you're better than an opponent, you practice differently, your focus is different. He's owned that, especially off of last year. The Chiefs are in an interesting spot because the first two games out of the gate, obviously very tough. They could certainly win both games. Patrick Mahomes owns Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. In the 5 games they've played, they've won 4 out of the 5, so they're not worried or scared of anybody. But when you look at the Chiefs, I kind of break the Chiefs' season up and schedule up into 3 parts: the 2 games to start it, the 2 games to end it, and look at all that stuff in between. I think there's a very good chance the Kansas City Chiefs could play really good football and be 0-2. But then look what happens. Win, bye. Now you're 3-2. Let's even say you lost to San Francisco.
Sure.
In that rematch, San Francisco, of course, trying to get back at them for the Super Bowl. But then after that, Raiders win, Tampa win, Denver win, Buffalo win, Carolina win, Raiders win, Chargers win. You're going on a 7-game win streak in the middle of the season, and then you have this little 3-week period where it gets tough again, where you've got arguably the best defensive football on the road against the Cleveland Browns. You've got a team that's had one of the great off seasons, stocked on offense with the Texans at home, and you've got a rebuilt Steeler team at home. So their schedule's really divided into thirds, and the middle third is money good for them.
I'm looking at the schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm thinking to myself, listen, we know that they got the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati in the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
But after that, I'm looking at Falcons, Chargers, Saints. It's a possibility that they could go on to the 49ers 5-0. I really believe that they'll make a statement in the open part of the season, get these first 2 games in the AFC, because one of those 2 games is going to decide who gets home field advantage.
That's right. That's fair.
So I think it's going to be critical going down the stretch for them into the playoffs. But listen,
I'm with you on that. If they somehow won the first 2, and they're both in Kansas City, by the way, which they have a significant home field advantage.
Saints.
I'm with you. If they win the first 2, they're going to be 5-0. You and I are in lockstep on that.
Right.
I think it's more likely they split the first 2, but either way, you're right. After week 2, it's kind of easy sailing for them for a little while until you get to the back end of the schedule where you start playing good defenses on the road and other teams that are legitimate playoff teams.
Yeah, and then after the 49ers game, they at Vegas, and then they play Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So they could walk away with 1 loss if they lose in San Francisco.
I think again, we'll do more of this tomorrow, a little tease for tomorrow's show, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs are looking at a 13-4, 12-5 type of year. Now, I have them losing the first 2, so if you have them winning the first 2, I would amend that.
Yeah.
And obviously, everyone's chasing them. They're going to win their division. That's not up for debate, I don't think, by anybody. But I think they're like a 12-13 win team this year. And there's going to come a point, and Kelce has spoken about this, where they're just not going to play well on a random Sunday, and you're not going to see it coming.
Yeah.
Last year, they lost to the Denver Broncos. Last year, they lost to the Vegas Raiders. That's something that guy's never done before. right? The New York Jets damn near beat them here at MetLife Stadium. They didn't, but they damn near did.
Almost. It's close.
Yeah.
More victories.
Moving on to third and football, we have new Cowboys defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer had some interesting thoughts about how he plans to use his best defensive weapon, Micah Parsons. It might be a little different this year. Zimmer had sort of an Parsons had an up and down year last year. Do you think Mike Zimmer's scheme will unlock Parsons?
I mean, they tried him a lot of different ways last year also, and he did not show up on the stat sheet in a lot of games. Doesn't mean he didn't have an impact, obviously, on the games, but the idea is that you know he's going to get doubled. Because if you're on offense, you got to know where Micah Parsons is because he's good enough to wreck your offensive game plan. So I'm more concerned with who else on the Dallas Cowboys is going to make a play. Now, you get Diggs back off of the injury last year, so you should have some better coverage in the secondary than you had last year, giving the guys up front more of an opportunity to get to the quarterback and make plays. But this is as much about what they, again, did not do this offseason. If you had told me, for example, that the Dallas Cowboys got Brian Burns from Carolina and the Giants didn't, well, now I got another guy that if you double Micah, this guy's going to wreak havoc in your backfield. They didn't do that. So to me, the Micah conversation is as much about who else is going to make a play when he gets doubled.
Hey, this is I believe the best thing that Mike McCarthy has done since he's been a head coach.
Get Zimmer?
Is bringing Mike Zimmer, because if you look at Mike Zimmer's resume, he took a 32nd ranked defense in Minnesota and made him a #1 defense without a Trayvon Diggs or Micah Parsons. And I played against Mike Zimmer defense. He 8 in the box, heavy blitz, and he's famous for the 4-2-5 nickel that he runs. If you can move Micah Parsons around and put him in the A-gap, double mug the A-gap, and make those offensive line guess who's coming and who's not, Michael Parsons can free up a lot of guys, including himself.
We got much more football coming your way. Look, there's one of his few sacks this past year. Oh, there's another one against a dwarf. I mean, really, those are Micah's highlights. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.